Janam Yashodanandan Braj Janaranjanam Jamuna Tira Banchari Jamuna Tira Banchari Jamuna Tira Banchari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda Radha Gokula Nanda Radhe Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev बोलो श्री श्री राधा गोकुलानंद भगवान जी की Gita Jayanti ki. Who knows it was Gita Jayanti yesterday? Anyone? Bhagavad Gita was born, right? So this is a very auspicious month. So we have a very grateful heart that somehow or the other, Shri beautiful Radha Gokulananda ji has arranged for us to be able to talking about this great scripture that can actually make a difference of going through various lifetimes, or we actually get the knowledge in this very lifetime. And we're very lucky with our verse today. We're talking from chapter 14. Who's going to tell me what is chapter 14 called in Bhagavad Gita, please? You got Bhagavad Gita as it is on your phones? You can actually go to Vedabase and put Bhagavad Gita chapter 14 and it'll come. Rajesh Krishna has very kindly put the verse there. So we will read from that. And don't worry, don't get worried about Sanskrit, we literally spending few seconds or minutes on Sanskrit because, of course, it's Krishna's words. So even though we don't have a full knowledge of Sanskrit, but let's not worry about it, because what we're going to do, we will try our best to attempt to speak it because they're Krishna's words. But later on, very mercifully, Srila Prabhupada has translated everything in English for us. It's because of his mercy that now we can understand Krishna's message. Yes? We agree we're very lucky to be here. Because you may be thinking, oh, I'm not even in India and we're talking about Bhagavad Gita right here in middle of London. It's only thanks to that great personality there that we have to be thankful for this. And think how many of our generations, like my grandson, his children eventually, my children's children, your children, their grandchildren eventually one day, we all going to be benefiting immensely because of Srila Prabhupada's vision on this. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So bear with me, I will try, and because normally Bhagavad Gita you only have one verse that gets done, but today I'm be doing 22 to 25, so there are 3 verses altogether in Bhagavad Gita. So I will recite them and then we can actually, in fact 4 verses, 22, 23, 24, 25. But the message is very clear and very, very useful for us, like what can we learn? What can we put into our practice to become what Arjun's questions are, which we'll come to that in a minute. But let's just do the Sanskrit and then I will explain a little bit of a background. What these verses are all about, because Krishna's answering question in this, and what is his answers to those questions asked, how we can apply it on ourselves, and how we can then make sure that we benefit our life through this, right? So that one class make all the difference sometimes, who knows? Leave it to Krishna and his plans. Okay. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prakasham cha pravrittim cha Moham eva cha Pandava Nadvesti sampravratani Na nivratani kankshati Udasino vadasino Guniryo na vichalyate Gunavartanaiti evam Yo avishtati nengate Samadukha sukha swastha Samalotsama kanchana Tulya priya priyo dhiras Tulya nindatma samsutitha Manapamanayo's tulyas. So man and apman. So manapamanas yo tulyas. Tulyo mitrari pakshayo. Sarvarambha parityagi Gunatita sa uchyate. So, translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki. The Blessed Lord said, He who does not hate illumination, attachment and delusion when they are present, nor longs for them when they disappear, who he is seated like one unconcerned, being situated beyond these material reactions of the modes of nature, who remains firm, knowing that the modes alone are active, who regards alike, what does he regards alike? Pleasure and pain. Can't say that about myself at the moment. Looks on clod, a stone, a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is wise and holds praise and blame to be the same, who is unchanged in honor and dishonor, who treats friends and enemies alike, who has abandoned all fruitive undertakings, such a man is said to have transcended the modes of nature. Somagyanatimirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Charu Swami Tinamini. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarini. So, listening from the purport, Rajesh, would you mind? Could you push it down a bit? So Arjun has submitted 3 different questions. So going back to verse 21, Arjun is asking questions to Lord Krishna that tell me what are the symptoms of a person who has already transcended the material modes. So what is the chapter called, first of all? Anyone? Please look up Bhagavad Gita as it is. 3 modes of material nature. So you can imagine this is going to be about 3 modes of material nature, how we all get entangled in that. What that means is Satogun, Rajogun, Tamogun. And in English, it's, what is it, Rajesh? Mode of goodness for Sato. Tamogun is mode of ignorance. And passion is the middle one, which is mode of, we say, Rajogun. So as a human being, we all might think, well, if somebody is in mode of goodness, then there's good. Because in mode of goodness, they have to be certain things. They're non-envious, they are truthful, and all these things. When they are in mode of passion, they may be envious, they may be falling prey to 3 gateways to hell. Who knows that? Prabhuji is not allowed to say. Everybody else, Rajesh, maybe? Not so much. Anybody else here? 3 of our enemies. Never mind the human form of enemies. These are the emotions that we have in ourselves, which are our enemies. 3 gateways to hell. Sorry? Brilliant. And? Yes, one more. Lust. Brilliant. So lust, anger, greed. This is it. Cause of our everything. You think about any argument, which you probably regretted later, comes from you've got angry and you've said a thing where you should have perhaps controlled or somebody that wanted to poke you and get you angry, you have risen to that bait. Either way, anger has come into it, then you become passionate, then you become greedy, then you become all sorts of negative emotions which are no good for anyone, let alone us. Especially if we are going to be our own friend. Who likes to be their own enemies? Anyone? But we occasionally do. I might get you to speak. He said, shut up, you said him. I used to normally say that to my younger son. You know, every time my son Kashi, he would walk and he'd walk into a chair and I'll say, you don't need enemies, do you? He'd be like wincing in pain. So what made you say that about thing? Would you like to say, Prabhu? You may as well. Or is it like a personal thing? Right. Might as well share it. We're having an interactive class here. So you beat yourself up, trying to be better at what you are. Well, the notion is very good. We all try and become better at what we ever want to be. And this is where we're going to come back here, because Krishna is going to be telling us, well, Arjuna is asking, what are the symptoms of that person who's already transcended the modes? And the answer is that Krishna gives. So Krishna is going to be very, he gives answers, like these Bollywood stories or stuff on television. As soon as something interesting comes, it goes on to the next episode like that. So third question, Krishna's not answering here, which is, so first question is, what are the symptoms of a person who has already transcended the material mode? So Krishna says, transcendentally situated, one person who never envies anyone, no hankers for anything, no laments for things that are gone. So you are right. We all at times beat ourselves about, what if I did like this? What if I said this in the interview? What if I was so good at this? What if I didn't overslept and I'd got this done today? What if my gym class I'd managed to get to? But do you all realize that we all think we are the doers? Yes? But actually, when you think about it, and we've seen evidence from history now, think COVID. People had booked their tickets to be somewhere. People had made plans for wedding. They had paid up everything. Could they do anything? So we can all make plans. In the end, he's the one who fulfills those, right? So all we can do is attempt. And you are right. We're not all born perfect just yet. We can always go on to become perfect. So if we want to being better at what we want to do, first thing to do is, let's not try and be envious of others. I know people say, oh, jealous and envy. Envy is different. Jealous is something different. That's negative. But envy as well. Let's all be content with what we have. If I don't have a Gucci bag, am I gutted? I'm not. Am I phased? No. What is in my luck is my son, younger son, Kashi, he bought me from Accessorize, not that I'm thinking, 16 or 17, he was ready to spend 30 pounds on me. Big deal, when they're youngsters and teenagers and earning, every penny counts. He decided to buy me from Accessorize this. And guess what? Krishna helped him, it was in sale. So instead of 30 pounds, he got it for 15. I don't have heart too. This is my Gucci. It's got lots of my son's love in it. I don't care about designer makes anymore. Why? Because if Krishna wanted that for me, that would happen. If Krishna doesn't want me happening, then it doesn't bother me. So let's not worry too much. Let's not beat ourselves about things. Yes, we do want to we want to beat ourselves to become a better devotee. And we want ourselves starting our relationship. Why? Because the second question Arjuna asked is, what is his behavior? So somebody who has transcended the material modes, because we all know we get entangled in modes. There are times when we have all the best. Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Bhagwan Ji ki. So with all the best interest at heart, sometimes we make plans that we want to get up and do this, but the laziness sets in. Or something else happens and you don't fulfill that. So sometimes all these things are happening even though we want to try. But if we carry on trying with determination, as you would know, most things get fulfilled. We've all heard this, where there is way, where there is will, right. So with the best will, what we need to do is extricate ourselves from, or get ourselves out of, world is so complicated. So many different things, so many different demands are being made on us. We'll go mad if we listen to our mind every single day. Oh, my boss is saying do this. My mom saying do this. My chacha saying do this. Or my uncle saying do this. Pujaris are saying do this. Whatever else. Who are you going to please? Yes? What we need to please is what our dharma is towards ourselves. We've been given this human body. Why? because we need to behave in certain ways. So this is the second question where Arjuna is asking, what is his behavior, so that he can understand, because through Arjun we are supposed to learn from his behavior. So he's trying to ask, what is the behavior of a person who's transcended these material modes, which are very difficult to do? So what are other activities like? So then Krishna is saying, the transcendental situated person is not affected by false honor or dishonor. Has anybody got experience of that? Where people are very sweet on your face and say, hi, how are you, phony, this, that, the other, and give you praise. As soon as your back is turned, what happens? Most people work in offices, right? What happens? Lots of backstabbing, right? And on your face, the butter won't melt. Everything is hunky-dory. Unfortunately, this is the type of world we live in. So should we be hankering for that kind of praise? Would it matter? No. So, Krishna is saying, someone whose activities are transcendentally situated is that person who should not be affected by false honor and dishonor. He still carries on to perform his duty. He should still not feel the necessity of anything material. Now there is this word that kanchana, it came with gold, stone, or lump of earth, because they have equal vision, which is very difficult for us to do. So this is where we're going to beat ourselves about it, because eventually we want to get to that stage. Please don't think, just because I'm talking about this, and I'm sure you might be at that platform, but I'm not. If I see gold, I would want to pick it up. If I see stone, I may not be that interested. If I see lump of, earth, again, I may not be affected. So it's a high standard where it's telling us that there comes a time when we would be able to control our mind and control modes or transcend the modes. We can't control the modes because whilst we are alive, we would always be affected by gunas, these three. Depending on whether if you get up at Brahma Muhurat, you'll be doing good things, you'll be in Satagun. If you're doing late night partying, 2 a.m., 1 a.m., 12 o'clock, you'll be in mode of passion, ignorance, and so on. And that's the kind of company you'll also have, which would make it even more difficult for you to make that right decision. And hence the reason we come to association. So here, Krishna is saying somebody who is transcended, his behavior is like, he regards pleasure and pain as same. So who knows chapter 2, text 14? Come on, we all into our things. Like, just give you a brief example. Somebody I work with, he's Muslim. I have immense respect for him. He works with me, but he was telling me that he has got his daughter to read in Arabic as well. She's born, brought up here. She was 5 or 7, or he wanted at certain time read their holy book. And I was just thinking, can I say that for my children? Probably not. Why? Because I haven't done it myself. So there's lots of things for us to strive for. But anyway, text 2.14 is the verse I always say to my grandson. Because, what's your name, Prabhu? Jay. Oh my God. That's my grandson's name too. Is your name Jay Nithai? Jay, okay. So my grandson's called Jay Nithai. So I say to him, if you take text 14 of chapter 2, it's a very famous key verse. It tells us things, and it comes in very handy. There are times when you would do absolutely everything, but still something is that's not going to go right. What can you do then? So this is that verse which says, Matra sparshastu konteya sitoshana sukha dukkhada agampaina nityas kim titiksava bharata. What does that mean? It means just like happiness and distress comes in our life, they are just like seasons, winter season and summer season. Can you stop winter season from coming? I really wanted it to be summery day, nice. Can we stop it? Can we do the same when you go to India and it's like 44 degrees and you stood there and thinking, I like sun, but not this much, I'm afraid. But what can you do? You can just tolerate it. So if we learn to tolerate things we have no control over, we can make our life easy rather than fighting a battle that we got bound to lose, right? So I find this verse, that's one thing we can do. So there'll be pleasure that you'd have no problem trying to enjoy the pleasure. But when it comes to pain, you would feel, I don't want to tolerate it. But guess what? We all have to. This is when you think about this verse, right? And then the other person that they talked about, whose his behavior should be. So there were 5 qualities. And one of the last one is one who is wise, and he holds praise and blame to be the same. Now, how many of us can put our hands up and say that I'm not affected by that? Can you? I like praise. If somebody tells me, oh, Vrinda Vilasini, you sing very nice, deep inside, even though I don't want to feel happy, and you know this is not you, because Krishna does magic and somehow it comes out nice, but you do feel happy, you do feel pleased, because you're trying to serve Krishna and you've been told some things, at least some devotee has liked. So we all love praise, and similarly Krishna loves praise. What's Krishna's name? What is the Maha Mantra that we chant? Prabhuji, you tell me, where are you guys from? Okay, very nice. Welcome from a beautiful country. Mauritius weather to here. What can I say? But you are here in Radha Gokulananda's Dham. So there's no place like this. Right. So you tell me, what does Krishna like to hear? We all have those qualities, because we say Krishna has got those qualities, and by associating with Krishna, when you come and see him, when you come and take his darshan and you go away, you go with a very weird feeling. Peaceful mind, non-agitated, non-anxious. You're losing all the negativities here and going with a very positive mindset, right? That's why we all come. And of course, we like to see beautiful Radha Gokulananda's darshan. So when we have Krishna, 2 examples spring to mind. What happens to a spark? Who's done bonfire in their lifetime? Come on, barbecues, bonfire. Yeah? So what happens when a spark comes out of the fire? Prabhuji, what's your name? Shivam. Oh wow, you Lord Krishna. There's the greatest Vaishnav is Lord Shiva. So Shivam comes from that. Great. So tell me, what happens to the spark that falls out of the fire? It dies, cools down. And if the same coal, when it's cold and cooled down, we put it back into fire, what happens to it? There you go. So what would happen to us is, because we've also got some qualities, they compare it in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, it explains that we have same qualities, but not in the same quantity as Krishna has. So it's likened to a gold dust particle. You have a gold mine, and then you have gold dust. Gold dust has got the same chemical composition, same properties as what is there in gold mine. Yeah? But it's in a smaller quantity. However, the qualities are same. So that's the important bit. So if we want to have qualities, which is Satchid Anand. What is Satchid Anand? All blissful. Yeah? Ananda means blissful, truthful, eternal. If we want all of these qualities, what do we need to do? As the fire keeps the fire and intensity going in the spark, we need to keep our association with Krishna or Krishna's devotees to keep that fire of devotion in us. So there is a verse there, I think it's 2.13, which is Sukhe dukkhe samakritva labho labho jaya jayo tato yuddhasya yujasva nevam papam avasyasi. So one who needs to be equipoised again, whether it's sukh dukh, which we all know. Does everybody understand sukh and dukh? Prabhuji? You, the youngsters, I don't know if you coconuts, like, no Hindi, no English. He does speak Hindi? Okay, great. Otherwise, sukh means happiness. Dukh means distress, unhappiness, opposite. Labh means everybody plays that on front of their shop. Shubh labh, gain, yeah? And loss is labho. Jaya, Vijay. Jaya is victory, and opposite of that, defeat. So what Krishna is saying to Arjun there is that without worrying about the consequences, just do your fight. In chapter 2. So this is all we need to see. Our life is a battlefield. We don't have to physically go fight with others, but we can just fight with the demon inside us. And we can bring up the divine in us. And whichever one we feed more, that side would win. So there are times when somebody is going to try and make you angry, please don't rise to the bait. That's exactly what you want. His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj once said, getting angry is likened to holding coal in your hand. If you hold that coal, the person you're angry with, he doesn't know because you're holding it. And what are you doing to yourself? Yes. So is that a friendly kind of thing to do to yourself? No. Because first thing I said is, let's make our mind our friend. So let's just be able to take out things which are not conducive for our spiritual progression and keeps things which are conducive for our progression. Same goes for your company. You can go to somebody who is making immense amount of money. In the end, what will happen? Think of the richest person. What could they take? They could leave a lot for their families, don't get me wrong. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't try and do that. But then what? What if their children then just gamble everything away? All your hard work. Then why not think, why don't I do something for myself? We've all got limited time in this world. Yeah? So let's just try and not have consideration of happiness, distress, profit, gain, victory, defeat. For sake of Krishna and for our transcendental consciousness, let's not worry about the reaction of material activities, and let's not worry too much about our own sense gratification, because we will then get entangled in modes again, whether we are going into goodness, passion, or the good or bad. So what we need to do is, with very concentrated mind, and we always hear at work, mindfulness, focus, and we know very well, I don't know if you've seen the calendar this year from Bhaktivedanta Manor. The 1st January one talks about how do you detox, not about booze, not about other unnecessary things people put in their body, but from even technology. Have you noticed how many times you go onto the phone to think, okay, let me check this shloka, or let me read this thing, and guess what? YouTube mini things pop up. Artificial intelligence is such a way that they try and drag you away from what you want to do. So we need to focus, because we need to become our own friends. We need to stop people distracting us from our only goal in human life should be, besides doing our duties as a mother, father, child, whatever else we need to do for our family, society, nation. Besides that, we have the most important dharma to ourselves, that our original constitutional position is that we are part and parcel of Krishna. We need to ignite that love of God in us so that we can start having intensity in our devotion, and we need to start ignoring all the unnecessary things and concentrate on that one relationship, which is always going to be friendship for us, or as a father figure for us, or however you choose to see that relationship with Krishna. Because that is one thing that would make it everything else so clear for you. So let's try and do that. And then the third question that Arjuna asked, that how does he transcend the modes of nature? That's going to be answered in the next verse, and that's going to be spoken about tomorrow. Not choosing to take the thunder from, stealing the thunder from the next speaker, but this verse basically states that, Prabhuji, have you got that verse? 1426, can you say it? It's again a very famous verse, and they recited it yesterday as well. While Prabhuji is looking for that, so so mamecha vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. When you go home, and please read this verse, it will tell you 2.14 that you come to a platform called Brahma Bhuya, and that platform is where you can transcend these modes. You no longer get controlled. But whilst we are living, we know that we're going to be. However, when we get to that platform, that can only happen when we engage in full devotional service. These are Krishna's words. We can't doubt them. It's written here. He's given you a problem, and he's given you a solution. Now it's up to you whether you choose to. It's like when we go in plane. What does pilot have to do when there is immense turbulence? Have you experienced that? When you go in a plane, it's very turbulent. I mean, when I was flying back this time, I was like, it was shaking up. Even though after takeoff, and it wasn't landing, and in between there was so much turbulence, we were having to keep the belt on. And then I love to do chanting then, because then I know what a chanting should sound like, because you know you can go any minute. Please try and experience that. Next time it happens, we can't go wrong. If we lived, we can tell the tale. If we don't, at least we've died the way we're supposed to die, right? But I tell you, what pilot does is then raises things over the cloud, over the turbulence. Would you be a great pilot for yourself? Who can promise me? Would you develop your relationship with Krishna? Yes? Yes, no? Yes? How would you do that? Think about what are the practical things you can do. So for example, I don't want to forget Krishna. On my laptop, my password is, I can't tell you, but I can tell you some of my previous passwords, right? I could just say, Nitai, Nitya Nitya Gaur. What does that remind me of? Gora Nitai. They are Nitya Nitya Gaur, yeah? You can put Radhe Radhe Bol, you can put Krishna Krishna, but you don't have to put those words, even if they are easy to guess. You can put all these symbols and stuff in it, isn't it, to make it difficult. But then what happens every 2 minutes when it gets locked out, you're automatically taking Krishna's name. Or you can give your children name. What else are the other practical implications you can think of? Prabhuji, what's your name? Where you come from? Yes? Karan. Oh my God, we've got Shivam, Karan, we got Jay. Beautiful names, isn't it, from our scriptures? Okay, Prabhuji, tell me one practical thing that you think you can do to take on this, where you can increase your activity to Krishna consciousness. Because we've read there that it's only through devotional service you get to that elevated platform. And to get to that, we need to have our relationship. So how would you manage so that you don't get distracted by all the, if I can call it, baddies in the world?
I think when you start your day, starting your day thinking about Krishna before you start
the
rest of the day.
Very good thought. However, we have, what is there written normally? Who's the observant of all? On the top of the gates, we've got Mahamantra written up. How does that go, Prabhuji? Louder, please. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So just about thinking of Krishna, you can also be saying that, because all you're saying is, Krishna, please engage me in your service. That's the literal meaning, right? So chanting the holy names of the Lord, of course, in a non-envious way. We don't want to become Ravana. who thought of Ram but in a wrong way. We don't want to become Duryodhana, who was with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the association, but he could never see anything good. Hence the reason we need to become non-envious, not worrying too much about honor, dishonor. We just need to have our focus in trying to get in our life and doing things which are going to be beneficial for our spiritual. And what else you could do, Prabhu? Shivam? So you can chant the holy names of the Lord, and you can do 16 rounds. So this is where we need to start beating us about it. Start with 1 round, progress after a week to 2, and so on. And then challenge yourself. Oh, I can do 16 rounds, which is what Srila Prabhupada's given us. Then books. All these devotees here, they go out to give books. Even if you've got something, even if you got Bhagavad Gita, just take it. Give it to somebody else. Present it to somebody else. Yeah? Got nothing to lose. Somebody would read and they would benefit. We weren't like this. My Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, they invested in us by picking us up, by making us read little, Bhagavad Gitas. And now we are in that position where at least we know where our goal is. And I'm telling you, even in this material world, I don't know if you guys can Google His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Swami Maharaj. He got to know he's got cancer. Stage 4 cancer. He said to his Guru Maharaj, who is alive, his name is His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj, he gave class not so long ago. And His Holiness Kadanakamba Swami Maharaj is another disciple, very, very exalted, is His Holiness Swam Keshav Maharaj, right? Swam Bhagwan Keshav Maharaj. So try and Google that, Swam Bhagwan Keshav Maharaj. We used to call him Sutapa Prabhu before. And he was told, Kadamba Kanana Swami Maharaj said to his guru, please don't stop me from chanting. It was so difficult for him to do 16 rounds. And Maharaj was very compassionate and kind. His guru was happy to give him that dispensation. And he said, please don't. And when he actually left his body, he was listening to Aarti. He had not taken any medication for cancer because he was afraid that might interfere with his consciousness, because our consciousness needs to be into Hare Krishna when we actually leave our body. So what we can do is practice in this world, even though it's material world, we can make it transcendental by adding Krishna to our life. Okay, now 2 minutes are left. Let's all put our hands up and please thank Srila Prabhupada deep inside your heart. There is a website called Srila Prabhupada's Books or Veda Base. You can go on it and read. Okay, someone lead. Hare Krishna, come on. You guys, on top of your voices, come on.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you so much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you all for coming.
I have to. Okay, she's amazing, and it's the first time.
Who's singing?
What about the just? Is that okay? Are you supposed to?
That's definitely okay. I'm not singing.
Oh, Pablo, can you open this? Can you open this? It's open. Can we sing? Just a second.
Give Jaya Jaya Gora Chande Arati Ko Shobha. शोभा जाह्नवी ततावाने जगमनालोभा दकिनीताय चान बामे गदाधारा निकाहते अद्वैता श्रीने वसा छत्रधारा वसे याचे गौराचान रत्नसिंहासने आरोहते करे ना ब्रह्मा आदि देवगाने नाराहरि आदि कोरि श्यामरा धुलाया संजया मुकुंद वासु गोषादि गाया बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला मधुरा मृदंगा बाजे परमरसाला शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर मधुर मधुरा बाजे शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे निताय गौर हरिबो 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 निताय गौर हरिबो बाहु कोटि चंद्राजिनी वदना उजाला देशे वनमाला कोरे कृष्णाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी हिते नामिने देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषाः शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna.